Hi, my name is Barry Sterling Mitchell. I produce the Sterling Net Point Power Rankings and the Bias Plus reports. Today is November 29th, 2023, and this is Ben and Barry on football.
What's up out there? My name is Ben Dickerson. I'm your co-host. Real fast, the pick segment. Once again, although I felt good about it going into last week, I thought possibly I was going to have 10 wins or more. Unfortunately, that was not the case. I had 9 wins, 7 losses, still on the proper side of 500, but can't seem to break that 10-win barrier.
All right. Well, the bias was exactly 50% last week. Yeah.
50%?
50%, yeah.
I spanked the bias then. I said the virus. I beat the bias.
3 weeks ago it was 75%. It's been in the upper 60 and the 60% range over the last couple of weeks, and then it hit.
Yeah, 60s is normal.
No.
75 was great. 50, not so good.
But what we'll do is, again, at the end of the Bias Plus reports, when we do the Bias Plus Buster of the week, we'll talk about the bias beaters. So we'll know who beat the bias last week, but not as healthily as the Buster did. So then I got a football game to go to on Sunday, so I got to get all the stuff done early. I got to get my blog written and everything.
Wait, you got tickets?
That was my birthday gift.
Oh, nice.
Box seats, because they know I don't want to stay in the cold and the rain.
Yeah, right.
I barely want to even go because I just don't like, traveling. I'm a person that would love to be someplace. I'd love to be in the Caribbean.
You just don't want to go.
I just don't want the whole traveling hassle to get there. When they get to the point where they can be me there, just
beam me up, Scotty.
You know what I'm saying? I'd be ready to go. So I'm even that way about the darn Eagles game.
Bro, you're going to South Philly.
Yeah, it's still a pain in the butt, man.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Me and tens of thousands of people are going to South Philly. It ain't
going to be in the box. You're going to be in the box.
Yeah, I got to get to the box. Once I'm in the box, I'll probably be cool. It's the whole getting there thing.
Is he serious?
I'm telling you. I would travel. I don't like the packing. I don't like the getting to the plane. I don't like being on the plane.
I'll tell you, you know what the worst part is going to be?
What's
parking?
That? Parking. Yeah, it's going to cost a mint, and then
getting out is going to be a pain. But other than that, you'll be good. You go right in the gate. You go right.
I'll survive. Maybe I think Hollywood's he's supposed to be down there, so we'll see. Maybe we can get some bennies hanging out with the celebrity, the friends of the celebrity anyway.
Right, at least.
At least.
That's cool.
2 degrees of separation from a celebrity.
You got the box where they feed you?
That I don't know. I don't know that.
Okay, because at the Sixers games in the box, it's free food. It's not, it's just like hot dogs and stuff, but
we'll see. We'll see. I heard they have good food, but it's expensive.
Right. Right. Oh yeah, food's a grip, man.
So I
really do better eating before you go.
And I'm hoping that the pretzels will be fill up on some pretzels.
No, and just make sure you eat before you go. That's the smart thing to do.
Yeah,
really is.
Yeah. So, and last time I think we were there. I'm not sure if it was for Crystal's graduation. I think it might have been. And we went to a nice restaurant afterwards, So I don't know if we're going to do that again. Once we get there and we're there, it's a 3-hour game generally, how that basically works out.
Right.
Now,
tell me this. Are you traveling with Eagles fans?
My wife.
Oh, it's just the two of y'all?
As far as I know.
Okay. Does she have Eagles? Is she going to wear Eagles gear?
More than likely.
Are you going to wear Niners gear?
That's a question.
So here's the deal. Go early enough. It'll be easier to park. you get a better space, and you can walk by tailgates, and people will give you food.
Well, you know,
Right?
now that
Especially if they see y'all together.
now that you mention it, there are a few people like on my Facebook page, people that I've known for a long time, like let's say the Cotton family, you know, they got nothing
Right?
but athletes and they're big Eagle fans and they're tailgaters. I remember they had video, they had a TV out there. I'm like, okay, you know, what do you have the TV connected to? Like you have a digital antenna or just, but you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, they're out there early. Dante, who runs the Eagles, he has an Eagle podcast thing on Facebook, um, buying for Eagle fans or something like that. He used to be out there tailgating. I think they're a little more sophisticated now, but you know, yeah, there might be some people that I might run into that would give me food. I don't know.
That's all you got to do, man. Just walk through the parking lot slow and say, hey, how you doing? Big game today. And they'll be like, are y'all together? You're like, yeah, this is my husband. He's not a fan, but I'm an Eagles fan. They'll be like, yeah, you want a sausage? Want some ribs? You'll be like, yeah, you want a beer? Sure, thanks. You'll be stuffed by the time you get to the.
They won't let me in the place with that stuff though, will they?
No, you got to eat it while you're out there.
Gotta eat it while I'm out there. I'm standing in line like I
I'll
get in
stand
there
at the tailgate.
stuff all down the front of my shirt.
Man, it probably won't even be no line, man.
We'll
All
see.
them entrances they got down there.
We shall see. We shall see. But yeah,
That's cool though.
it should be
Enjoy
fun.
it.
It should be fun. We'll talk about the game a little bit later. As a matter of fact, Benny, you ready to kick this thing off and talk about
Yeah,
the
let's do
first
this.
game, which would be the Thursday night matchup? Man, I tell you. Night, Benny, we're going to kick this week off with actually what I think is going to be actually a very competitive game. Even though the bias plus score obviously favors the Cowboys. You got the Seahawks at Cowboys. They got to go into Dallas with a bias plus score of 18.1 favoring the Cowboys. So that's a pretty strong bias. And we watched the Seahawks this year. They're not quite like last year where they had the top ranked offense and the lower ranked defense. Now that offense that isn't producing quite as much. But somehow I think they're going to give the Cowboys a little bit of a run for their money. What do you think?
Well, both teams played on Thanksgiving Day. Unfortunately for one of them, their results were quite different. And in fact, the exact opposite. So we'll talk about the Seahawks first. They lost to visiting division rival San Francisco, 31-13. Now, besides a 66-yard kickoff return by D. Eskridge, they got dominated in all three phases of the game. It was pretty ugly. Now, to be fair, they were wounded. That could be a problem this week, too. I'm not exactly sure how much. But they were wounded with their quarterback, Geno Smith, being banged up. And they were completely missing their number one running back, Kenneth Walker III. We actually discussed Walker's backup last week, Zach Charbonnet, and we wondered if he could come anywhere close to Walker's type of production. Now, he was able to gain 47 yards on 14 carries, but negative game script didn't allow Seattle to run the ball the way I'm sure they wanted to. Geno, even though he had to play through the sore triceps, he had to be pretty uncomfortable, but he was out there anyway. And unfortunately for him, being banged up wasn't bad enough. He also suffered through 6 sacks and 12 quarterback hits. So it got pretty ugly out there for the Seahawks. Geno, I believe, will be able to play. Walker is still questionable, but from what I heard, he hasn't done much in practice yet. It's only Wednesday, so it's still possible he plays, but I'm not sure. It doesn't really sound good. In fact, I think I read something that said he's trending toward not playing. So that still remains to be seen. Now, as far as the Cowboys are concerned, they treated their home crowd to a complete domination of the Washington Commanders. This was one of those games where one team just kind of seemed to do everything right. But let's talk about just two guys here for Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott was 22 of 32, 331 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 turnovers. A magnificent game for Dak. It's quiet. It's funny how quiet my Facebook page is when the Cowboys are playing and the Eagles aren't. No matter how well Dak plays, nobody has anything to say about it except for Cowboy fans, where Eagles fans normally want to chime in all the time when their team is playing really well and how much Dak stinks and this, that, and the other. But that's just one of those things. Cornerback Deron Bland led the Dallas defense in tackles. And his real claim to fame, though, this is real claim to fame. After his pick six in this particular game, he actually now leads the league in interceptions with 7 and holds the NFL single season record with 5 pick sixes in a season. When I heard that, I was a little bit surprised, but then I thought about it and I checked a couple guys from back in the day. And yeah, that in fact is a record. 5 pick sixes in one season is something that nobody else has ever done. Pretty amazing, huh? Considering some of the great corners that played in this league.
Yes, I would say. I had to turn my mic off for a minute there.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I'm glad you agree with me.
Yeah.
Anyway, wounded teams are what the Cowboys like to feast on. Trust me, they're going to do it again. So I'm taking the Cowboys in this game, no doubt about it.
Wounded teams. That's what you're calling the Seahawks, eh?
Absolutely.
Wounded team. All right, there. Going with the bias, going with the Cowboys.